What is going on, YouTube? My name's Pete Logical, and today I am going to give you my spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, don't worry about any spoilers here. I won't be spoiling it for you. I saw the movie last night. So, what my original plan was, I was going to start reviewing Spider-Man movies, starting with Homecoming, then go Far From Home, No Way Home, and then eventually this one. I'm going to be talking about Brand New Day because I want to talk about this. It is honestly one of the best Marvel movies of all time. Honestly, I feel confident in saying that. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero since I was 10. I've just been a massive Spider-Man fan like ever since then. I've seen all of them. This movie was incredible. So I had my expectations for the movie high. I went into it high and I was super hyped to see what Marvel Studios can do with this because low-key, No Way Home was also a really good movie. I don't think that's like a hot take at all. No Way Home is one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time as well. I just feel like this movie was the best Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I'm going to get into my thoughts real quick. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. To start things off real quick, one thing about the Tom Holland Spider-Verse movies that I respect is that they are very much Spider-Man ventures while he's in school. A lot of this takes place when he's in high school, going to college. Now, this finally is the Spider-Man movie that I wanted, which is more grounded, like him swinging through New York, him taking out a bunch of villains around New York, all that fun stuff. And I feel like they did their job beautifully. Honestly, it was perfect runtime for this movie. I feel like this movie did not slow down at any moment. It was just firing on all cylinders from the start of this. And I feel like it was a continuation of No Way Home because not just for the spells, but I feel like where No Way Home came off, that ending, that iconic heartbreaking moment at the end of No Way Home, I feel like a lot of this movie takes place like directly after that. You don't have to watch like any other Marvel movies aside from some Tom Holland Spider-Man films going into this. The positives: there's a lot of action, a lot of epic moments scattered throughout the film. I feel confident when I say that this is the best the action sequences in any Spider-Man movie has ever had. I felt like I was watching rendition of the Insomniac Spider-Man games, and this really felt like that. From the moment you were just on the adventure with Spider-Man, he was fighting a bunch of different villains around New York, and that's all very awesome. Even when the story moves forward and you get these big action sequences, Scorpion and even the Hand at some points. We're gonna get to the Hand a bit later here because I have like a minor nitpick with them. I feel like all the action pieces were awesome here, and it was Spider-Man back to how I remember watching the Tobey movies when I first saw them as a kid. My next thing, there's a lot of emotion in this. Keeping it spoiler free, you don't have to worry about that. There are 4 moments in this film that I can't lie to you, as a Spider-Man fan like me, it just made me cry at 3 different points. This is probably the most emotional driven Spider-Man movie that we've ever had. I don't think that's really a surprise to many of you because if you've seen No Way Home, you know what's about to come. You know that eventually there are going to be certain moments that have to happen. You know that this is probably going to be the most emotional Spider-Man movie that you'll be seeing. I think in terms of that writing, I feel like this is the most emotional I personally have ever had watching a Spider-Man movie. Way more emotional than No Way Home was, and I feel like this movie overall was just peak in a lot of different aspects. That brings me to my next thing, Tom Holland, Jon Bernthal. Those two, Punisher and Spider-Man, throughout the film have a lot of back and forth banter with each other, and it feels like, even though this is the first time that they've been on screen together, you feel like every single time they were on screen, it was like best friends, like going back and forth with each other. It felt like a brotherhood, but it's weird because Punisher and Spider-Man are two totally different characters, whereas Punisher is more chaotic. His way of doing things is killing anybody who feels like they're getting in his way or like affecting the people you love. And then you got Spider-Man over here, kind of want to be like the goody two-shoes, like I refuse to kill anyone, even if it's the morally right thing to do, because he can't find it in his self to kill anybody. I felt like that whole aspect of that, it had so many hilarious moments between them, and that was the clear thing that stood out to me in this. I want more Punisher going forward for future Spider-Man movies. If we get them, I feel like you can incorporate more of that, and I feel so like excited for what they could do with these characters moving forward. Next thing I gotta talk about Sadie Sink in a non-spoiler fashion, because I could say what happens with her, but I am not gonna do that here. Maybe in a spoiler version of this, should this video do well enough, I might get into that. But all I'm gonna say in terms of Sadie Sink is my God, she knew her role in this, and the plot with her character was so well written, and she was the perfect placement in this film. And I feel like Sadie Sink was so badass, and I know she's gonna appear in future films like Avengers and beyond like that, but I want to see what they do with her, because we could be looking at the next like cornerstone of the MCU past Secret Wars. I feel like this character is going to be a fan favorite. The character she plays is a fan favorite character of mine. I feel like she was so good in this that I need more from her. I want to see where the next phase in this goes. On this topic, I want to talk about Bruce Banner and the Hulk real quick. I don't think it's a hot take for any of us to say that the MCU completely shafted the Hulk ever since Thor Ragnarok. I feel like Thor Ragnarok was the last time that, before this film, that Hulk was anywhere near the Hulk that I remember as a kid. They kind of dumbed him down in Infinity War and Endgame, and then of course you have She-Hulk. My God. Without giving too much away, all I'm just gonna say in terms of Hulk is finally the Hulk is back, ladies and gentlemen. He was intimidating. There was one moment in particular where he yells, and it sent shivers down my spine, because I'm like, oh my God, he's really pissed. And then it leads into a fight with him, and oh my God, I can confidently say Savage Hulk is back, and hopefully moving forward they keep him like this, because this is the Hulk that I want moving forward. I want Marvel to keep that version of the Hulk, because it was chef's kiss, beautifully well executed, and the payoff was good with him, and I can't give much away beyond that. Oh my God, Savage Hulk is back. Now let's move on to negative aspect of this. I addressed this before. Without giving too much away, obviously, I'm not going to spoil like a whole bunch of things for you. I wanted them to do more with the Hand. Now, the Hand are the ninjas that appeared in the trailer at the end. When I was heading into this, I didn't know much about them. All I knew is that they had something to do with like the Punisher and Daredevil. Like, I knew very little about that. So aside from that, I didn't know much about them. And I walked away feeling I wanted more from them, but like not in a good way. Like, with Spider-Man and the Punisher, or like with Sadie Sink, or like with the Hulk. What I mean by this is I wanted them to do a little bit more with the Hand and Scorpion in some ways, but I feel like they executed Scorpion well enough that they did everything I wanted them to do with Scorpion in this, but I wanted a little bit more done with the Hand. Can't say anything beyond that because of spoilers, but I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about there. This one, it kind of happened, but it also didn't. And without giving too much away, the very end of the movie, something happens between two people, those being Ned and Spider-Man. And all throughout this, you could see, like, even though Ned forgot about Peter from No Way Home, you saw, like, over the course of time, the three characters interacting with each other, and it's like they were friends for a while. So something happens at the end with Ned and Peter, and I wish we would have got something else like that with MJ. And that's all I'm gonna say. And we kind of did, but involves like a plot point, so I'm not gonna like go too much into that. And the third thing that I have here, and I feel like all these are nitpicks, these aren't gonna like affect the score or anything like that. I wanted more from Yelena. I don't know why I felt like this, but Yelena is always, at least for me, she's probably my favorite new character that they introduced before this movie came out. She had enough in here that made me laugh. She had like a couple moments where it was cool seeing her. Like the Hand and Scorpion, I wanted a little bit more from that. Maybe I'm being petty by that, but she's like a favorite character for me personally, so I wanted a little bit more from that. Those are the positives and negative aspects here. What did I think overall? Overall, I feel like this is easily in running for Film of the Year. I still feel like I prefer the Odyssey to this one. That being said, I'm gonna do a Spider-Man rewatch like over the next few days. I'm gonna review all the rest, and I can't say definitively yet. This is easily the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and this is easily the best Spider-Man movie that we have had since No Way Home, and it might be one of the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in general. Overall, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Go check it out. I highly recommend you do so. And if you are a Spider-Man fan, you are absolutely gonna lose your mind with this, and and trust me, you are going to get emotional in multiple points in here. There is a post-credit scene. Before I go, I forgot to mention that. You can stay for it. I would stay to the end, but it's nothing beyond teasing something to come out, and I have 3 different angles that I feel like it could go. There is a post-credit scene. Stick to the end if you want, but if you want to leave, you can. It's nothing that will blow your socks off or anything like that. I feel like it's going to be important for Doomsday and Secret Wars. You might want to stay to the end, but you can leave if you don't want to. If you're a Spider-Man fan, go check it out. I'll see you for another Spider-Man review shortly. Peace.